I'm back with Texas Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick. Dan, let's talk about the border, because here's Texas, a border state. Debbie grew up on the southern part of Texas, the Rio Grande Valley. It just appears like it's, a free-for-all. And by that, I mean, it's not just poor, starving Mexicans coming across the border. You have people coming from Iran, from China, from India, from other parts of South America. It's almost as if the word has gone out that the United States is inviting all comers. Do you think that this is, is there any way to see it other than that this is a deliberate scheme on the part of the Biden administration to flout the immigration laws?
Well, I don't know who the Biden administration is. We know the man out front is not thinking of these things. He's not thinking in general a lot of times. Is it the Obama team behind them doing things that Obama didn't want to do himself as president because he didn't want to look this leftist? I'm not sure. But this is the left that wants to destroy the country, and they want to dilute the country by having millions and millions of people coming here illegally. In many cases, the health issues are a concern. It costs us a lot of taxpayer money to address that. Education, these children come here maybe without any schooling or way behind. So you can't put a 15-year-old in the fourth grade, but if a 15-year-old is only about the sixth grade level, what do? They come to school, they drop out because they can't keep up. It is about diminishing this nation, and that's the only way you can explain it. For Mayorkas and Kamala Harris and Joe Biden to say the border secure, the most dangerous thing to me, Dinesh, is a politician who will look at you in the eye and lie to you. But above that is the one who will look you in the eye and lie to you, and they know they're lying to you, and they still don't mind lying to you. That's a dangerous person. And when they sit up there and look America in the eye and say the border's secure, and you see thousands of people crossing every day. We had video yesterday. We put concertina wire across the lots of areas. The Border Patrol was cutting the wire and letting the people through. We now have an influx like we've never seen. Let me give you some quick numbers. So in 2002 or 3, the Chamber of Commerce said there are 11 million people here illegally. And we heard that number forever. Every time I'm on Fox News, I'd say, it's not 11 million anymore. That was 20 years ago. We were apprehending about 450,000 a year, every year, from San Diego to Brownsville, 2/3 in Texas. We have 2/3 of the border. Our border with Mexico, by the way, is further than Atlanta to Portland, Maine. Okay, it's a little zigzaggedy, but that's how many miles we have to cover. So if you take 450,000 every year, year after year, and by the way, that's the ones we catch. Law enforcement will tell you for every one you catch, 2 or 3 more get in. The gotaways that we see, but we can't get them before they disappear. So you could say 1 million a year since 2003. So you're 20-some million. MIT did a study in 2016, and their numbers kind of matched mine. They estimated somewhere between 22 and 30 million in 2016. So add another several million to when Biden came in. And Trump finally had it pretty secure the last year. So under Biden, we're apprehending about 2 million a year. Apprehending another million or so, 1.5 million gotaways over his 4-year term. So that's 9.5 to 10 million that we apprehended and saw. How many more got through that we didn't see in that border that's longer than Atlanta to Portland, Maine? So you're talking about 15, 20 million people under the Biden administration. And that 15 or 20 million, let's call it 15, be conservative. 15 million plus the 25 to 30 million that were here, you're now talking about 10 to 15% of the population of the United States here illegally without any foundation in our history. Maybe they don't share our values. They come from another part of the world that they want to come to America to get all the freebies, but they don't share maybe our values and our principles. And so that's what the left's doing. And it will only take them about 2 decades to accomplish it, because all these people are coming here, may not be allowed to vote, but their children, when they're born, are American citizens, and they will be voting. And who let them in? The great Joe Biden, the George Washington of illegal immigration.
That's what I was going to ask you, is what's the end game? And presumably the end game is not just destroying America, but transforming the demographic composition of the country in such a way that they have essentially a permanent hold on the political system, correct?
Absolutely. If we lose Texas, you can never win the White House again as a Republican or any other person, any other party that might pop up one day, because the electoral votes of New York and California and Texas combined, the math doesn't work. The math is hard now with Texas. And so we are the target. And we're going to talk, I know, a little bit coming up here about this community that has suddenly become in the news near Plum Creek that has 50 to 60,000 estimated illegal immigrants living in it now. about 30 minutes from where we're doing this podcast, and is estimated to have 200,000 people in the next 10 years. And that's a city of people here illegally. And see, I won my election last time by 800,000 votes. So project out 20 or 30 years from now, if you have 2 or 3 of these cities pop up that are all cities with people here illegally, whether they get the right to vote at some point by a Democratic Congress or whether their children one day vote, you're talking about Texas in the bullseye.
I mean, it's scary either way, right? Because one way is, okay, they're not going to be able to vote. And so you have this giant population living at the margins of society. The other possibility is you let them vote, and then you've just you've essentially changed the country.
Yes.
And without the consent of the American people, because no one's agreed to this. No one said, okay, well, this is what we really want. Right. We have a legal system in place, but this is a way of putting a wrecking ball even into legal immigration.
It's one of the brilliant things about our bus policy here in Texas, and it costs us a lot of money to send the bus around the country. But now in blue cities and blue states, they're feeling the pain. And when the president, who's a Democrat, won't even listen to Democrat governors, when they see people sprawled out on the streets of New York and everywhere else, you know it's a plan that Joe doesn't even realize what's going on, and someone tells him it's a good thing for America. And look, the humanitarian issue on this is terrible. I worry about Texas and America first, but women and children being put into sex trafficking, women being raped to come here, the bounty they pay to send part of their wages back to the cartels or others across in other countries, the whole smuggling ring. It's almost like we're creating another indentured servant population in this country. So we also, we had a 3-year-old drown in the river yesterday. Joe Biden says, come on, come on, come on. He doesn't care if people are drowning in the river. He doesn't care. Whatever the price to be paid, the ends justify the means.
We'll be right back for a final segment with Dan Patrick. Debbie and I had a New Year's resolution to lose weight, and thankfully PhD Weight Loss came to the rescue. Well, you can see the result. Debbie's lost 24 pounds, I've lost 27. We are now both on maintenance. The program is based on science and nutrition. No injections, no pills, no long hours in the gym, no severe calorie restriction, just good, sound, scientifically proven nutrition. It's really simple. They make it easy by providing 80% of your food at no additional cost. They tell you when and what to eat. And guess what? You can do this without ever being hungry. The founder, Dr. Ashley Lucas, has her PhD in chronic disease and sports nutrition. She's also a registered dietitian. She helps people lose weight and, more important, maintain that weight loss for life. So if you're ready to take the step of losing weight like Debbie and I have, call PhD Weight Loss and Nutrition. Here's the number. 864-644-1900. You can find them online at myphdweightloss.com. The number again to call, 864-644-1900.